Hello friends, followers, channel members. It feels like ages since we've been here. Happy Tuesday everybody. No, what day is it? It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday everyone. See, I told you it's been ages since we've been here. I only know what day it is by saying good morning and stuff to you guys. Anyway, yeah, can't remember when our last live was, but indeed was indeed a while ago. So great to be back, and we've got a great flight for you today, where we are in Italy. We're heading over to Sardinia, where the weather is it's quite warm, isn't it, at the moment. I am not a fan of hot weather in real life, of course, and here in the UK we had a very rainy, drizzly morning. It was only about 14 degrees, I think, yesterday where we were, which is quite comparable to the 40 odd degrees that they're having in the south of Spain at the moment. I am going on holiday in southern Europe later at the end of August. I'm really hoping that the temperatures will have dropped by then, otherwise I will absolutely not be looking forward to that. I'll just spend the entire day in the pool and the shade, or even better, in the pool and the shade at the same time. If you're a fan of the hot weather, then let me know, but no, 40 degrees is just far too much. It doesn't matter how many drinks and beers are in my hand. Anyway guys, welcome. Come get yourself sat down. Shout outs to our channel members as always. Hey DC, Nick Nullix, Carl B, Macam, Christian's here as well, Sean Duff McKing. Hope you are all doing very well, and a good afternoon as well to Alien Sarcotech and Andy. Hope you're doing well guys on yes, this Wednesday. We've got a flight time of about an hour. We fly from Naples over to Olbia in Sardinia, so looking forward to that. Looks a little bit hazy on the ground here this morning. It's not morning, is it? It's afternoon. They're a little bit hazy on the ground this afternoon here in Naples. We'll check the weather. We'll go through the operational flight plan. We've got a bit of time today because it's only about an hour's flight time, and I've not got a school run for about 2.5 hours, so I'm a little bit more relaxed today. That doesn't mean you guys can fail my aircraft, by the way. I'm not sure I can deal with that. Nolex2411 says, no, he's ginger. We avoid the heat. Fair enough. Oh, Craig, you're in Murcia, Spain, where it's scorching. Now, Craig, I did think about doing a flight today in the sim to either Murcia, or where else did I see was just ridiculous. Oh, Seville. Seville's really, really hot as well. So, yeah, I did think about doing flights to either of those two destinations as well, but didn't quite have enough time for a good length flight to those places. So a little hop across the Med for us today should be fine. Christian, I'm reliably informed the PCA is already connected up at our jet. We'll go and check that out in a little while. So yeah, hopefully our aircraft shouldn't be too hot. I think the doors are closed. What you should do as well is you should also pull the blinds down, which you wouldn't normally do in the daylight, but have all the blinds down in the cabin just until you get airborne, just because obviously the sun's shining in, it heats it. You're effectively in like an aluminium tube, aren't you, which when you start throwing passengers on there as well, it gets hot very, very quickly. It doesn't take much. So in the burning sun, where we've got cloudless skies today here in Naples, yeah, very, very hot. So at the moment, all of the aircraft doors are closed. I can't close the blinds because that's not an option, but if that was the case, the blinds, I'd be telling the cabin crew, close the blinds. Let's just get the lights on. We'll keep it sun-free as possible. Right, so Panseer Ducket, how often do you make your flight plan before? How early do I make it before I fly? So I'm usually thinking about where we're going to fly sort of an hour or two prior to the stream starting, and then I do a little bit of research on that. We then create the flight plans, make it realistic, write call signs and things. So everything you're seeing here, this is a live flight sort of thing. What's our call sign today? Alpine 93 Golf Zulu. So yeah, this is the real call sign. Funnily enough, I don't know if it was yesterday, it might have been yesterday or a couple of days ago, the registration of the aircraft that flew this flight was incredibly similar to my fictional registration that I've got in Flight Simulator, which I thought was amazing. Another reason why I thought that we're going to have to do this flight. Right, shall we have a look at our operational flight plan? We'll go through the briefing. Like I say, I've got plenty of time to sit and chat today, so I'm just waffling away. Apologies if you're eager to get underway. Let's have a look at the flight plan. So if you're watching on YouTube, of course, the flight plan is pinned into the chat. Shout out and welcome to our Twitch viewers as well. I can see Nick over there on Twitch, Speedbird464. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. And Dua Umbacante, thank you for the sub as well on YouTube. So yeah, here's our flight plan. Why is my first officer barking? I told him specifically not to do that. Yeah, here's the flight plan today. We've got a payload of just over 15 tons. Titus Grand, thank you for the follow on Twitch. So we're not overly heavy. What's our takeoff weight planned to be? Takeoff weight is about 64.2. That's not too heavy. A decent amount of passengers and payload on today, so that's pretty neat. Doesn't leave us too much space with the underload. You can see that's less than 2 tons. The alternate today, Lima India Echo Echo. That escapes my mind where that is, but it's somewhere again on Sardinia, I think. Call sign, there we go, 93 Golf Zulu. Costinix of 4, of course, it's Easyjet. Cruise flight level of 300, and look at that cruise temperature. So alright, we're not going to be cruising at flight level 380 or whatever, but the cruise temperature is only minus 35. I would still expect to see that below minus 40. So if, you know, with that, the first thing that I'd think of seeing a cruise temperature of above minus 40 is, well, if we're going through any clouds, I'm not sure there are any, but if we are going to be going through any clouds, well then anti-ice is going to need to be on because it's going to be within the icing range. Now, Christian's just said as well, look at the tropopause, 50,000 feet. So if there is any NAF weather, we're not going to be able to climb above it because it's going to be beneath us. But yeah, 50,000, that is indeed very very high. Trip wind, we've got a headwind as well today of 29. Titus Grant, so we're flying to Olbia in Sardinia today. Hey, Captain HMW, greetings from Manchester. Is it raining there as well? All right, let's have a look at the flight route. So, runway 24 departure, 05 arrival in Sardinia. Shear rate looks fine. That's okay. What's our plug fuel? 5.2. CNR's 2.5, so nothing sort of out of the ordinary there. Let's have a look. Contingency fuel's 200 kilograms. Here's our flight route, just checking through the grid moorers. They're alright, no terrain. Look at that. So there you are, all the nines, the departure, the destination, all the alternates. Weather looking absolutely fine in terms of visibility and ceiling. Guessing there's not too much cloud around with the temperatures we've got today. Let's have a look at the weather brief then. So in Olbia today we have got currently 220 14 knots, so a little bit windy. I mean, that's going to be quite nice. Look at the temperature. Oh my word. 42 degrees. 42 degrees. So that's hot. And it is Cav OK. Looking at the forecast, it's just 19th today, isn't it? Wind 060 at 12. There is a potential for a runway change today then, because 060 at 12, chances are we would come in we'd come in the other way. I'll have to keep an eye on that and see what's happening. Spitfire RAF, good afternoon. Christian, why is your tropopause 4,000 feet high? I've got no idea, Christian. No idea. Yeah, and of course we've got Cav OK as well with all of the alternates as well. So that's fine. There you go. There's our flight route. Pretty straightforward. Have a look at the weather. What weather? There isn't any weather. It's just hot. So with that in mind, what we're going to do fuel-wise, probably don't need to take loads of extra fuel. I think 5.5 tons should be 5.5 tons should be adequate, shouldn't it? So let's tell the ground crew that's what we're going to take a little bit later on. which means then in terms of additional fuel we're going to have about 0.4 tons extra, so 400 kilograms of extra fuel. That's the figure we'll need when we're doing our fuel calculations. Right, let me check out the charts. We'll get some information from those, and then we'll head to our we'll head to the jet. Vita 11th, good afternoon on Twitch. Hope you're doing well. Right, so we are. I think we're parked stand 19. We'll go for a walk and find it in a minute. I think we're parked stand 19. We know Naples pretty well, so. Taxi will be out on Quebec, then it's round Romeo and Tango Sierra, isn't it? So just make a quick note of that. It'll be Quebec, Romeo, Tango Sierra. Nice intersection departure available for us today as well. I think we can take. I can't remember what's in the flight computer for this. In the EFB, I think we can take Echo, but I'll have to check that when we get into the aircraft. So that's fine. Departure is pretty straightforward. We've got a max speed of 185, and that's till we get to Gemma. So we'll have a look at setting up the box with that. Mount Vesuvius as well, if you're unfamiliar with Naples. Mount Vesuvius, if you're sat on the left-hand side of the aircraft, get a great view of that as we depart today. And then from Gemma, that's it. We're just up on Vevox 7 Golf, which is straightforward as well. Vevox 7 Golf has also got a speed constriction of 210 knots as well, just there, which is that's interesting. So we'll see if we need to pre-select any speeds once we've got our weights and we've got our speeds calculated for us. Other end then, anything daft here? We're coming in at 2 Romeo, so that's going to be down here. This is a very long-winded arrival, so what we can probably look to do is, if there's no other traffic about, we can probably get, we'll trim this down a little bit instead of having to fly the full procedure. In fact, where's that begin? So we've got Senel and Obimi. Let's just have a look here. Senel and Obimi is there. So yeah, we could probably get to Semel. How far is Semel out from the arrival? That's 15 miles out. Yes. So the plan will be, if there's no other aircraft around, we will look to get down to Senel, capture the ILS, rather than having to fly this full procedure. It just saves a bit of time, saves a bit of fuel, and in the real world that is exactly what the ATC wants to do for us. We're planning runway 05 arrival. We've said the winds may change, so we could end up coming in the opposite way, which for us personally is better because it's quicker, saves time, and again that means saving fuel. Right, I think that's everything done. So should we go find our jet and go and get some go and let some passengers on board, I think. So where is our jet? Let's go find it. Ah, there we are. Yeah, so I think this is stand 9. I think this is stand 19. Let me just go and have a quick look. So Naples scenery, always nice. You see, I was a little bit hazy as well. Nothing mentioned in the meta about that, but scorching sun. Don't forget the sun cream. Hey Anthony, hope you're doing well. Captain, rain once in a while, warm weather when in the sun. Cricket fans everywhere. Yes, of course, the Ashes in Manchester today, aren't they? Right, well, ground crew is on its way. Someone's forgot the steps, so we'll just levitate into the cockpit then. Right, let's jump on in. Okay, so we do have the PCA connected up because it is so warm. Let's just check the condition then. We've got, oh, that's all right, look at that, 23, 21, 21. Now the doors are going to start getting open because the catering trucks have just arrived. So you might start to see these creeping up just a little bit. So we can keep an eye on that. APU obviously is not running at the moment. What can we do on the ground to mitigate the hot temperatures? Obviously PCA if that's available. And as I said, keep the blinds closed, keep the doors closed. Don't let that hot air from outside in. What is it? It's 32 degrees here on the ground. Let's just get rid of that. Yeah, 32 degrees here on the ground. So we'll do our best to keep all our passengers comfortable. I'm just having a look at the EFB. For some reason it's not brought in our payload. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we'll get refueling underway. That's going to be 5.5 tons. That's what we told the that's what I told the ground crew, isn't it? Alright, so aircraft is in its turnaround phase, and we'll just check the previous crews left the aircraft in a right condition. Why are the Italian airport arrivals so long? The idea is that they make them long on purpose so that when it's really busy, there's lots of sort of little steps for arriving aircraft to fly, and then one by one air traffic control can pull them off that arrival route and peel them onto the ILS. So you'll notice if you look at the charts for the bigger airports, things like Milan and such, they literally are almost S-shaped in their arrival to drag aircraft around and then when they're clear they can get a direct vector to capture the localizer. Hey PS Randy, hope you're doing well. FC87, good afternoon. Mona Lima's in the house. Hey Mona, hope you're doing well. Good evening Paul. Right, so let's just check our aircraft. Pack should be off. Yeah, these are turned down already, ready for when we get the APU started and the PCA is gone. So that's fine. Packs are off, fuel pumps are off, nav lights are on. Acupressure is in the green, spoilers, flaps, they're fine. Parking brake is set. Okay, right, well let's get the let's just get a little bit of current weather. We need a landing dispatch calculation as well, don't we? So let's just grab the current weather. Make sure we've got the latest one. So what we've got, winds 190 at 8. That confirms runway 24 for departure. Oh, there we go, actually. Visibility is 8 kilometers, look. So visibility is 8 kilometers, which is quite realistic compared to what I can see outside the window. No clouds, so that's fine. 32 degrees here, and QNH is 1014 with no significant changes. Alright, so that's all good. Let's see what's happening, shall we, in Sardinia. Let's grab that. Right, so it's showing 38 degrees at the moment, which it's still blooming warm, isn't it? Now look at that wind. It's now 04014. I'm just going to jump onto flight radar 24 because I've got a sneaky suspicion that they might change runways if that is the case. I've not got any arrivals or departures coming in there at the moment, so let me see. Let's have a quick look. I think we might be looking at arriving on a different runway from the plan, just because the winds have changed. The last landing there was, you know, it was half an hour ago, and the winds have only changed in the last half an hour or so. So, yeah, I think we're going to need a different arrival. So let me just check this. So instead of ATNA to Romeo, what arrival we're going to be using instead? This is where I'm not used to the new Navigraph yet, being able to find the different procedures. So runway 23. Sorry, am I talking nonsense? What's the arrival? 0405. Oh, I'm talking nonsense. Forget that. We are using the arrival that we've currently got. Okay, get rid of that. That's fine then. So let's just check the landing. So Lima, India, Echo, Oscar. It is of course dry, runway 05. Oh, that's not landing, that's departure. Definitely don't need anti-ice here. Nope, quite, quite right. So yeah, obviously it is dry. Grab that METAR. Landing weight, what's that landing weight going to be? It's going to be, with the extra fuel we've put on board, let's call that 62. Call it, let's be conservative and call that 63. And that's runway 05. That's flap full. So yeah, we can stop. And that's with no reverse. If we need to reverse as well, that'll be fine. Flap 3. So it looks like it might be a flap full landing then. Of course, we've got medium auto brake. How long is the runway actually there? Let me just have a quick look. Oh, it's not a short runway. It's 2.7 kilometers, so it's definitely not a short runway. That's fine. So dispatch landing calculations completed, and we're fine and happy. Alright then, let's just check the rest of the aircraft setup, then we'll start getting passengers on. So 1014, that's fine. We want Unicom, just check, are we monitoring the guide? Yes we are. 122.8, we'll switch over shortly. If anybody else is here flying with us, don't hang around for me. That's done. Initial climb out is 6,000. 1014, constraints are on. Lovely. Alright, let's begin boarding, shall we?
Cabin crew, we're all happy with how things are up here, so now open the doors and start letting our passengers on board. Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so passengers are going to start to come, doors are going to start opening, the cabin is going to start getting warm because of that. Let's go through and start setting up the box then. So, where's my flight plan gone? Let's check. Data, 3.5 greens, aircraft status, that's all fine, aerocycle's fine. Alright, let's do our init request.
Passenger's bus is coming.
Hey, right, Nathan. Hey, Branator. Let's just get this and pop it on the screen so we can see what we're popping in. Right, flight number is Alpine 93 Golf Zulu. Cost index of 4. Tropo is 5718. Let's get the winds. Christian, we need an anti-heat system. Yeah, it's a shame the anti-ice doesn't work inside the aircraft. There we go. So that's done. IRS in it, let me just check those coordinates. 50, 42.6, 1469, that's fine. Right, flight plan. Flight level 300. Minus 35. Okay, so what are we doing? Departing 2-4, and it's the VATSIM 7 Golf. And then arriving Sardinia, ILS 05 at net 2 Romeo. So that's 298 miles our flight plan. What's that got? Oh, 298. Look at that. Bob on. Fantastic. Pierce Brennan, glad you enjoyed the power management vintage. Oh, power management, energy management. Yeah, I know what you mean. And extending the runway center line. Yeah, it's just a little thing, but it just adds a thing, doesn't it, to making sure that we can do things as realistically as possible here in the sim. Aviator jumping in and out of the stream today, no problem. And Sam Jones says, glad I can finally catch another one of the live streams. I haven't been able to watch many recently. I'm really glad you're here then, Sam. Thank you for being here. Right, that's done. Radnav page, what are we doing? We've got Napoli VOR, let's get that on. Pineapple Fight Club, thank you for the follow. That's a great name, by the way. So, get that in the box. Let's try init B page. Have we got a company message? Yes, we have. Okay, so takeoff weight 59.1.
Passengers bus is coming.
CFG 29.5. Alternate fuel is 1.4. And fuel planning, see what we've got. So we've asked the ground crew to load 5.5 tons. The box wants 5.3, that's fine. So we'll just update that with 5.5. So that gives us a takeoff weight of 64.4, which is pretty close to our max landing weight. So that's going to be fine if we need to come back. So that's all well and done. Max landing weight on this aircraft is 64.5 tons. So we're just below that, and that's got us an extra sort of 5 minutes of thinking time should we need it. Hey, Final Fight Club. Hope you're well. What am I using to display the EFB? It's just a web browser, because you can use the Fenix EFB in a web browser, which is just the same as putting it on your tablet or whatever. So yeah, that's I do find it easy, particularly on stream as well, because you guys can see it there. 560 straight. Where do you see the alternate fuel, and also why do you fuel calculate instead of putting the block up? Oh, right. Okay, so here on the operational flight plan, the fuel for the alternate is given. Bear in mind, this is the Easyjet, not the Lido format. This is the Easyjet layout, which you can use in SimBrief. Alternate fuel is given just here, so we'll just round that up 1.4, just a bit conservative there. And why do we not just put in the block fuel that the aircraft calculates? Well, because it would be wrong. We have loaded 5.5 tons. If we put in the plan block fuel, it would be 5.2 tons, or rounded up 5.3. That's what the box gave us. But then we'd actually be 200 kilograms heavier than the aircraft thought we were. So all the calculations would be off. So yeah, that's why. Put in what you actually have, not what's required. Right, let's get rid of that. So takeoff weight of 64.4 and takeoff CFG is 29.5. Do you know what? I've mucked that up. So fuel weight of CFG isn't 29.5, it's 31. Let me just update that. There we go. And the takeoff CFG then is 29.5. So let's do the takeoff performance calculation. Someone's just closed my doors. That'll be GSX, I think. So departing runway 24, it is of course dry, flaps 1, no need to force toga, anti-ice. Don't think we need that today. Takeoff weight 644, 29.5. Live weather, intersection data, we can take echo. Right, so 35, 40, 40. That's Let's pop that in. Flaps 1. And what's the flex? 65. Okay, so clean then is 214, isn't it? So we might as well, just looking at this departure, if clean is 214, we obviously can't do that. We might as well just fly flaps 1 and pre-select 185. So, pre-select 185, we'll fly at S speed. There we go. Nice. That's done. Let's have a look at the engine out procedure and thrust reduction acceleration values, etc. So, in line with Easyjet SOPs, take 200 off this now, so that's 1017. Engine out acceleration also 1017. And secondary flight plan, copy the active, and we're just going direct to Ischia once passing 3,500 feet. So IS Kia, where we'll enter the hold. Inbound course is 056. Right turns. New destination. Back to Naples if we've lost an engine, and that'll be an arriving runway ILS Zulu 224. No start. No veer. Just clear the discontinuity in the flight plan and let's check that out. There we go. So straight out, enter the hold, and then we've got the arrival programmed for us as well. Pineapple Fight Club, if you like the fly-by-wire A320, you would absolutely love the Fenix. I promise you that. Aviator, why don't you use the FP to calculate takeoff performance? We did. We do. Nolex, we need to add in the new runways for Dublin's 28 right and 10 left into Sim Smart. Oh, that is a very good point. Yeah, they won't be in there yet. That's actually quite easily done. Nolex, just drop me a reminder on Discord and we can sort that. Okay, that's done. That's done. Last few passengers again on board. I think it's time to do a brief then, whilst waiting for that. Right, so starting with the weather, the want brief. Winds are okay, 190 at 8, so much to feel out from the left as we go. Visibility is 8 kilometers. We've got CAV okay, QNH 1014, so nothing really significant regarding the weather. Nothing significant regarding the flight itself and the en route weather. When we get there though, it's warm, isn't it? So just be aware, we might feel sort of maybe a little bit sluggish compared to the norm. It'll be interesting to see how the simulator and the aircraft responds to that when we're coming in at 38 degrees. Aircraft is fully serviceable with the exception of the weather radar. That's the only thing in the tech log. No NOTAMs that are going to affect today's flight, both on departure or arrival. I've already been checked those. Threats to be aware of in Naples. Obviously, we have Mount Vesuvius and a little bit of terrain around our airport. Over to the east, so you know, if anything goes wrong, fly south, then we're fine. But yeah, Naples isn't too bad, is it? Particularly on this departure. If we were departing the other way, perhaps we'd need to be a little bit more aware of the terrain that we've got because we've been flying towards it. But today we're going to be flying away from it, and it's also good weather. We've got VMC conditions, so we can see the things that we don't want to fly into. So that's nice. The only other threat, I guess, is the heat. Just be aware that it might just be a little slower to respond, but we'll see as we go. So let's talk about our push. We're going to push back stand 19. We'll face east on Quebec. We'll taxi Quebec, Romeo Tango Sierra. We're then going to take Echo for the departure. We'll not do a single engine taxi. We'll get both engines running. We'll get both the packs on as well, as opposed to just the one that I'd normally pop on because of the hot weather. And then for the departure itself, it's straight out with a left turn. We're going to fly this at S speed, so we'll fly all this at flaps 1 until we get to Gemma, and then we can increase our speed to. In fact, we could increase the speed. Clean speed is 214, so we can clean up and put it into manage mode and it'll hold 210. That's probably the best way to mitigate that. We might even get above 10,000 feet before then, at which point, when we get above 10,000 feet, the speed restriction is no longer applicable to us. So yeah, manage speed will be fine for that, and then we'll clean up. First turn, obviously to the left, it's noise abatement 2, departure. Transition altitude is 8,000 feet. And the initial climb out is 6,000. So we've got 6,000 set. Let's just go through the box, confirm all that. So flight plan 24. Then we've got the left turn Gemma, perfect 7 Golf, radar page Naples VORs in the box. Cruising today, flight level 300, 350 is optimum. That's fine. Takeoff weight is 64.4, so we're below max landing weight. And secondary flight plan has the engine out procedure in, which is non-standard here. So engine out procedure, if we lose an engine on departure, continue the climb out 12.5 degrees and follow SRS. Trim out the rudder, get the autopilot on. Above 400 feet we can then confirm the failure, can secure the engine, and then once passing 3,500 feet we can then clean her up, accelerate away, and proceed direct to the holding point at Ischia, where we will hold at. It's actually quite. We need to hold at. We're VMC today, so it's okay. So we'll actually be holding below MSA. We can hold safe at 6,000 feet, but it'll take a while to get up there. MSA is 8.4, but because we're in VMC conditions, I'm happy to do that today. We don't need to climb above minimum safe altitude because we can see the ground. Okay, so I think that's all the briefing done. I think everybody is now on board. It's time to start disconnect the PCA, start the APU, and well, our aircraft might just heat up for a little bit.
Hello Gavin, all passengers are now boarded and we're just finishing preparing the cabin for departure. I will bring you out drink once we have departed.
Thank you.
Okay, so ground, we can now remove the PCA. That's not required. APU is starting up. So I'll give that a moment for the flap to open. There it is. Steve, passenger 24A wants to know how to open the window. Yeah, well, don't. It's cooler in the aircraft than outside the aircraft. Why would you want to open your window? You'd let all the hot air in. Bad idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. My name is Gavin, and I would like to welcome you on board this Easyjet aircraft. We expect a good flight with you today with no weather problems showing in front of us, so we should be pushing back within the next few minutes or so. For now, the ground crew have now finished loading the last of the baggage into the aircraft, so if you could get yourself seated and secured, then we can make sure we can depart on time. The cabin crew will shortly be providing their safety demonstration video, so it would be appreciated if you could give them your full attention. A special welcome on board to our Easyjet Sim Pilot members, and if you wish to inquire about becoming a member, please contact a member of the cabin crew. All our Easyjet Sim Pilot members are of course entitled to free drinks
Okay, so APU is running. Wings APU bleed on another few seconds after we've left this running for a minute. You'll see I put the backflow to high. Now, that is for when the APU comes off and the bleed has been provided by the engines, because the APU bleed is actually automatically high. So this has, the pack flow has no bearing on the APU bleed, only when the engines are providing the air conditioning. So let's get that on now. Give that another minute, and then we get the packs turned on. Already, I bet if we have a look at the condition page, we'll see those temperatures, yeah, starting to rise nicely, aren't they?
Cabin crew, please arm doors and cross-check.
Okay, so cockpit preparation checklist. Before we do that, just tell ground, right, let's disconnect ground power, and ground, you can now get rid of the GPU and remove chocks and cones. So that's done. And the cockpit preparation checklist then. So aircraft acceptance has now been completed. Fuel quantity is 5.5 tons. Balanced. Seatbelt signs are on. Ideas got 3.5 green. Barrow QNH 1014. Set cross-checked and 300 feet. Right, where's my ground crew? Paul, you're not looking forward to summer considering the heat waves in the northern hemisphere? Well, yeah, it's ridiculous at the moment, isn't it?
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
So, quick look outside. That's good. Aviator, both sceneries are payware today.
Check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Naples traffic Alpine 93 Golf Zulu, stand 19, pushing back facing northeast on Quebec. Before start checklist, so parking brake is on, takeoff data has been confirmed, windows are closed, EFB is on flight mode, doors are closed and armed, and the beacon light is on.
Locking gear.
So Tez, biggest difference between the Fenix and the fly-by-wire? Good question. Everything works on the Fenix. I think is you're not waiting for things like secondary flight plan, cost index has a bearing, that kind of thing.
Release parking brakes.
And of course, there's all the failures. Parking brakes released.
Commence.
Naples traffic, Ocean 777, taxiing to holding point runway 24 via Quebec, Romeo, Tango Sierra and Echo.
Nozzle steering's disconnected. Engine mode selected to ignition. Starting engine 1. Now here's an interesting thing as well. So if we were in a Neo aircraft, there's a little trick for passenger comfort. Only works, of course, if you're getting both engines started. But if you close the cross-feed valve and start engine 2 first, then it doesn't interrupt the supply of bleed air from the engines as it starts the other engines. So the packs don't stop working momentarily while the other engine starts. But we're not in the Neo today, so we can't do that. Not sure that's entirely airline SOPs, by the way.
On behalf of the crew, I ask that you now please direct your attention to the monitors and cabin crew as we review the emergency procedures for this aircraft. There are 6 emergency exits on this aircraft.
Nick, would the flaps not already be at flaps 1 due to the heat? Well, it depends how clued up the previous flight crew were, Nick. And at what time this aircraft was brought in. It might have only been sort of 25 degrees when this aircraft was brought in. So, but yeah, I know what you're getting at, Nick. What's the reason for it, though? There's a great little quiz tech question. What's the reason for leaving flaps at flaps 1 on a very hot day when you taxi on to stand?
Light rafts are located beneath your seat. Emergency lighting in the floor will guide you to your nearest exit. We now ask that all carry-on luggage is stowed away safely.
It's not hot hydraulic fluid either.
Cockpit to ground.
Parking brake set.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Electronic devices must now be switched off or turned to airplane mode until we instruct you that it is again safe to use them. Our cabin service will commence once we are in flight. Thank you for your attention and we hope you enjoy your flight. Signore, signori e membri del
Starting engine 2.
A nome dell'equipaggio, vi chiedo ora di rivolgere la vostra attenzione ai monitor e all'equipaggio di cabina mentre esaminiamo le procedure di emergenza per questo aereo. Ci sono 6 uscite di emergenza su questo aereo. Per favore, prenditi un minuto per individuare quello più vicino a te e nota che potrebbe essere dietro di te. Se la cabina subisce una perdita di pressione, mantieni la calma e ascolta le istruzioni del personale di bordo.
Unlocking gear.
Ossigeno cadranno da sopra il tuo sedile. Posiziona la maschera sulla bocca e sul naso in questo
So there we go. So Liana and Anna, both the Annas, kind of got this one right. Yeah, so there's a... basically, there's an erroneous fault sometimes showing up
Disconnected.
on the ECAM, the air wing leak,
Left is clear.
which is erroneous. It's just caused by the hot weather, and leaving flaps out at flaps 1 kind of mitigates that little erroneous error. Off the top of my head, Anna. I mean, that is pretty special if indeed that was done without Google.
elettronici devono ora essere spenti o impostati sulla modalità aereo fino a quando non ti informiamo che è nuovamente sicuro utilizzarli. Il nostro servizio in cabina inizierà una volta che saremo in volo. La ringraziamo per l'attenzione e le auguriamo buon volo.
RSAWC, is that simulated in the Phoenix? I don't actually know if it is or not, to be honest. Right, so left's clear, right's clear. There's the guy with the pin. Looks good to me. Steve, you thought it was to give the ground crew more shelter from the sun. Well, that too. Alright, so engine 2 is happy as well. So let's get the flows sorted. Has our final load sheet come through yet? It's not. That's interesting. I might just have to give that a bit of a kick. There we go. So 59.1, that's fine. Takeoff 644, and CFG is 29.5. Perfect. All of that is good. Have to start checklist. Anti-ice is off. Ecam status is checked. Pitch trim is 29.5% and rudder is neutral. I'll flight control check then while we're here. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, full left, and neutral. Naples traffic Alpine 93 Golf Zulu, taxiing now to runway 24 via Quebec Romeo Tango Sierra and departing via intersection Echo.
Naples traffic Ocean 777 lining up runway 24, departing Vexov 7 Golf.
Right, so quick ped check, no LMCs, no change to our performance. We've got Echo, no QNH change. Everything's the same, it's not suddenly started raining. Engine out procedure is non-standard, so a straight out and 3,500 feet, we're direct to the Ischia hold. We're at 4,000 feet. Departure, Fenix 7 Golf, straight out, left turn, flown at S speed, and the initial climb is 6,000. Hey, Manic Mama. Tony watching there in Dubai, 45 degrees. Wow. My lad really wants us to take him to Dubai just so we can experience the hot weather and see lots of Emirates A380s. I keep telling him no chance. Even in winter I think it's too hot for me there. So if you haven't already done so, guys, please do leave a like on the stream if you're enjoying it. Keeping you company throughout the afternoon. It's glorious hot European weather. Okay, so the taxi checklist. Flight controls, they've been checked. Config 1 checked. FMA, climb nav blue 152 6000. Radar and predictive wind shear both on eco memo. Takeoff no blue. And our EFB is stowed and trashed.
Naples traffic, Alpine 7000, Mike Alpha, taxi to runway 24 via Quebec, Romeo Tango Sierra, turn 6 Echo.
RD presets, by the way, the Naples airport scenery that we're using today. Hey, just Willie. We're off to Sardinia. Enjoy the warm weather. Okay, so there's Delta, which we can't take. There's a great view of Vesuvius in the background as well. Okay, first left, that's Echo, where we're going to be departing from. Aircraft has just departed, but I think separation should be fine. It'll have been a couple of minutes, so we're good. Christian's slap speed is exactly 185. Naples traffic, Alpine 93 Golf Zulu, lining up runway 24. Okay, approach path's clear. This is where it'll heat up for a moment whilst we get the packs off. Lineup checklist. So our cabin is secure. Takeoff runway is runway 24 via Echo, TCAS, TRA, packs 1 and 2 off. I can see the traffic in front of us is about 11 miles out, so we should be fine to go. All right then, so take off, start the chrono, engines 50% in one set. Engine stable, set takeoff thrust, man flex, SRS, runway. Winds from the left, so engine 1 critical.
Naples traffic Alpine at 75 Mike Alpha, line up runway 24 via Echo.
Checked. V1, rotate.
Positive ring for gear up.
Gear up. Nav. Went above 1,200. Make the left turn. Thrust climb. Climb 1,200 reached. Autopilot 1 on. Left turn. Let's get back on quickly. Not too bad. 22, 23, 26. Warmer in the back. I had to turn photogrammetry off as well for this departure just because it was causing all sorts of stutters and issues. Hey, Jess Davis, good afternoon. Paul, see you next time, mate. Thanks for being here. Have a good night. Okay, no further ATC around, obviously, so let's just clear ourselves up. Flight level 180. 180 blue, open climb. Well, reason for starting the chrono when the thrust is set, it's so if you have an engine failure, you know how long the engines have been running for, because you can only use toga power for a maximum of 5 minutes or 10 minutes in an engine out scenario. And I like to keep it running as well, as it just helps with checking the sort of flight time and cross-checking the waypoints, make sure we're making good progress. Christian, you're going to ignore the speed constraint at Idopa. Well, if you're over 10,000 feet, you can do anyway. Adina says, what's the food on today's flight? Whatever it is, it's melted. Ice cream. Hey, Michael Hall. Okay, so that speed constraint that we've got is Gemma 185, so we're about to pass that in a moment. Once we've passed that, we'll push into managed, clean up and accelerate away. There we go. Nice view of Vesuvius there for our left-hand sided passengers. Water looks nice and calm beneath us anyway, doesn't it? Right, past Gemma, so push for managed, that should target 210, which it is doing. S-speed, flap 0, spoils disarmed. Spoilers, flaps, gear, lights. And we're away. Company message that's come through just there. For some reason a preliminary load sheet has just come through. That's of no use to us.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may now use your electronic items. Charging packs are available from the cabin crew to charge your smartphones and tablets. You may also ask them about joining our Frequent Flyers Club and joining the channel as a member. Thank you. Signore e signori, ora potete usare i vostri oggetti elettronici. I pacchi batteria ricaricabili sono disponibili presso il personale di cabina per ricaricare smartphone e tablet. Puoi anche chiedere loro di entrare a far parte del nostro club dei Frequent Flyer e di unirsi al canale come membri. Grazie.
Right, that's 10,000 feet. So what we can do now is we can remove that constraint. If we go to the flight plan page, find that IDOPA constraint there, clear that out, insert, and what we should do then is see the aircraft start to come down, speed up. Perfect. So as we pass 10,000, get airports on the EFIS. We can just double check. Flight level 300, that's going to be fine for us. Cost index of 0. That's done. Secondary flight plan, we can copy the active, clear that secondary flight plan out, and RadNav page, we can also clear that out as well. And we're away. Flight level 300. And confirm 300 blue. The legend Dark Fury is here. Hello, legend. How are you doing, mate? Happy Wednesday. Hey, Zorik, thank you for the follow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the seatbelt signals. The toilets are now available. We do recommend that whenever you are in your seat that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times. This is in case of unexpected turbulence. Our cabin crew will be along shortly. Please contact them if you have any questions or require assistance. Thank you. Signore e signori, il capitano ha spento il segnale delle cinture di sicurezza. I servizi igienici sono ora disponibili. Raccomandiamo che ogni volta che sei al tuo posto, tieni sempre la cintura di sicurezza allacciata. Questo è in caso di turbolenza imprevista. Il nostro equipaggio di cabina arriverà a breve. Si prega di contattarli se avete domande o avete bisogno di assistenza. Grazie.
So see how the aircraft climbs. Let's just have a look. So ISA is plus 13 at the moment. That's all right. See what it's like when we go a little bit further up. Helicopter Virtual, thank you for the sub, and Tommy KV as well on Twitch. Good afternoon to you both. Thank you for being here. You join us just as we've left Naples, about to head out of the Med and towards Sardinia. And whilst we're just in that climb, I'm just going to get the latest weather. Just because there was a chance of a bit of wind changing, so the runway in use may change, so I just want to be on top of that in case. Don't want to have to do a last minute change. What is it at the moment? 0708. No, that's fine. That's still going to be runway 5 in use. Good, good. Sean, yeah, that's right. Basically, a lot of the sort of background stuff that you see, the vehicles, boats, ships, workers, all of that stuff, that's what does impact performance, but it always has with all incarnations of Microsoft's flight simulators. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, maybe a rewriting of all that, being able to use more cores and things. Who knows? Who knows what the performance of that's going to be like? There are many that also think that the performance of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is going to be so much better than this one, 2020. So, whatever performance you get on your PC with Flight Sim 2020 is actually going to be boosted in 2024, meaning that you don't have to shell out for expensive new parts and a new GPU, etc. Time will tell, I guess. Still not a single cloud in the sky. My lovely Alpine aircraft. Yeah, so I mentioned that this flight in real life, I don't know how much yesterday or the day before, the registration of the aircraft was Oscar Echo, and then I think it was something like Echo Victor India. It was so close to this one, which is fictional. Well, that's quite neat. Alright, so about 5,000 feet to go. In terms of other airports to kind of get the weather for, there's not really that many. I mean, Rome is probably the best. It's probably the best shout in case we had to go anywhere, divert. Obviously, it's that short a flight. Naples is, you know, just going back there is probably fine. But we'll check out. We will check out Rome's weather in a moment. I say at the moment is plus 11, so not a massive amount. So, the great Lord Doofus just pulling up the, checking how many points he's got. I can't remember who's in the lead now and how it all stands in the leaderboard. It's been that long since we did a live stream. Nick pulling it up. Are you in the top 10, Nick? Let's find out. So number 1, Elliot Woodford, our newly crowned champion. Elliot is at number 1. Eastbirds has dropped to number 2. Elliot taking his crown there. Mark is at number 3. Peter ATCO, number 4. ATC Sweden at 5. Chris Morgan's at 6. Oh, there you are, Nick. Nick is at 7. Brian Dyer is at 8. Soren has dropped to 9. And hanging on in number 10 is Ginger. Oh, good afternoon, J-Hog. You've been pointing the garage. Pointing or painting? Pointing the garage. Rather you than me. Christian, is it now 40 degrees at Olbia? Well, hot weather operations indeed. Okay, coming up on cruising altitude, and then Mac Alt Star. And I'll cruise. Nick pointing at a garage. Yeah, well, J-Hog's retired. He doesn't have much to do. Right, so that's alt cruise, set TCAS to below. We'll pop the cost index then back up to 4, and we'll have a look through the SD pages, make sure that we haven't broken anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, just to let you know, we've reached our cruising altitude for today, and we are not anticipating any major delays or bad weather ahead, so we should be arriving on time as planned. The cabin crew will now start to make their way around the aircraft, so please make sure that the aisles are clear of any items you may have, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. A reminder that our Easyjet Sim Pilot members are able to take advantage of free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and we shall have an update for you shortly.
So just looking at the condition page, I've actually got it quite cool in the cabin at the moment, so it's 18, 18, 19. I think that would be rather cruel, wouldn't it? If it's 40 degrees at our destination, we should probably just bring that up a little bit so it's not quite so much of a thermal shock when they step outside the aircraft doors. Speaking of it being incredibly hot, we've obviously got heat blur from the engine, haven't we, in the simulator? That's been there since day one. Just wondering, I wonder if they'll ever be able to bring in sort of like a little heat blur. You know, if you're looking far out into the distance or over some hot tarmac and you can just see the heat rising a little bit, that'd be quite nice. Sots3Z, thank you for the follow. Okay, let me see what the weather's doing. I was looking at a chart of the operating environmental envelope of the A320. We're still good. We can still fly. Right, here's Rome. No, it isn't. That's not Rome. Get that when it comes through. Right, there's Rome. What we got? 34 degrees, 190 at 10. The cab okay, that's fine. So then, what's going on in Sardinia? Ouch. 0708, cab okay, 40 degrees. Wow. Wow, 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 indeed. So 070 at 8 is the wind, cab okay, 40 degrees. QNH 1012. Right, let's just throw that all into the box. Hey, no legs. It's not Nick Burrow's birthday, is it? Nick British Airways Burrow. We might have to fly to Heathrow in his honour. We'll do Manchester to Heathrow. Recreate his recent flight. Right, QNH was 1012. Temperature is 40. We're doing flaps 3. We looked at that a little bit earlier. Wind 0708. I should really know when it's J-Hog's birthday, shouldn't I? And what are the minimums? $330. Right, that's that box filled out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to commence a service of hot drinks and alcoholic beverages. Please assist Staff Unity by ensuring your tray tables are down and that the aisles are kept clear of bags. Our drinks menu can be found in the pocket in front of you. We serve a variety of local and international coffees, teas, beers, wines, and spirits. Please note that alcoholic drinks will not be served to those under 18 years of age. Signore e signori, stiamo per iniziare il servizio di bevande calde e alcoliche. Per favore, aiutaci assicurandoti che i tuoi vassoi siano abbassati e che i corridoi siano tenuti liberi dalle borse. Il nostro menù delle bevande si trova nella tasca di fronte a te. Serviamo una varietà di caffè, tè, birre, vini e liquori locali e internazionali. Si prega di notare che le bevande alcoliche non saranno servite ai minori di 18 anni.
Cheerful Michael, how nice is the feel of the actual McDo? Was it hard to set up? No, not at all. I mean, I'm useless with tech and hardware and that kind of stuff. I much more prefer software than and setting that up. But this was very easy to set up, Michael, and I've got a video on the YouTube channel as well, which shows you know how you go about setting that up. Having that tactile feel is really nice. You know, you can see what you're doing. I can be looking at a few things here whilst we're enjoying the view out the window, that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, it is. It's great. And I know a lot of people aren't fans of popping out the screen, but actually, what you can do is make sure that the screen is, for me it's a third screen because I've got two screens, one with the streaming data on, one for the sim, and then the McDo screen is like a third screen, and you can just reduce the resolution of that. It only needs to be 600 by 400 because it's a very small screen, which really doesn't affect frame rates at all. It certainly hasn't done for me. Right, let's have a look at then setting up the box 60 miles before we start to go down. So, flight plan, let's just have a look. I don't want to do all of this stuff in terms of the flight route, etc. So at Senel, I'm going to say I want to be 180 there. That's fine. What's the platform altitude for this? It is 3,800 feet. So if we pop a fixers page around there, what runway is it? Runway 05. Go with a 12-mile radius, 4,000 feet there. That'll help us with our intercept. Radnav page, just a quick check what nav aids have we got. Sierra Mike Echo, 112 miles out. Okay, so that's Radnav page set up. Runway 05, confirm 109 miles out. That's all been done, that's set up. We planned on 63 tons for the landing, so that's going to be fine actually. Looking at that, we're going to be, what, 59, 60, 61, 62, 62.1. We might be able to get a flaps 3 landing in, you know. Let's check that out. Let's go 62.3 just in case. Flap 3. Flap 3 and medium. Okay. Although, would medium auto brake be a really good idea with the temperature being as hot as it is? Those brakes are really going to cook, so no. We're going to go with... we'll go with a flap full and low, which still gives us time to stop. And second flight plan, I'll just copy the active, and that's done. Right then, so 40 miles before we start to head down, let's whip through a brief then. It's pretty straightforward this. So weather, as we have just seen, it's 40 degrees, it is hot indeed, wind 0708, so a slight wind from the right as we're coming in, but that's not too much. Aircraft is still all working, no NOTAMs that are going to affect us. Threats to be aware of, the hot weather, so the aircraft may handle a little bit differently. We shall see. Let's see how we're going to fly the arrival then. So let's just have a look at some information regarding the airport. Yeah, so what I want to do, I don't want to fly the full thing, but it depends what traffic is in front of us. We'll fly the full thing if we need to, but if not, we're going to get down to flight level 90 at top of descent, as you can see by 465. If I can then get to on here, then we'll go direct to Senal. Just looking at threat management at the moment. MSA is 6.2. We're in VMC conditions, so I'm happy to get below MSA because of where we're coming in. And you can also see as well the lowest you can get down to on this in fewer IMC is 6,000 feet, but we're going to be able to see the ground, so that's fine. So I'll just if we can get to Senal a little quicker, that would be fine. The plan would be then to get to Senal about 5,000 feet, and then we can drop down at 4,000 feet a little bit later on. Yeah, 5,000 by Senal, and then 4,000 after that. In order to do that, how would I fly the approach then? It would be green dot speed as we're coming along here, flaps 1 as we make the base, and then flaps 2 as we intercept the glide slope as per usual. The ILS approach itself is a normal ILS approach. With regards to the descent angle though, it's a 3.5 degrees descent, so it's going to be quite steep compared to normal, which, you know, let's check out the sort of perspective that we've got as we're going. We're going to have to flare a little bit earlier to arrest that rate of descent, because we're going to be descending at what, about 800 feet per minute. What was VAP? We'll check that. That was 136. So yeah, we're going to be descending about 800 feet per minute as opposed to 650, 700 feet. So yeah, an early flare for us today. Minimums we've got 330. That's fine. Once we've landed, where are we going? Delta looks good. Charlie if we need to. Bravo if we really need to. And then we're just backtracking. And from there, we'll park somewhere in front of the gate. Michael Holder, brake fans automatically come on after landing? No, they don't. No. Even when hot brakes are detected, they don't come on automatically. The pilot has to turn them on. Engine out procedure. Let's quickly check that. Not engine out, sorry. Go around procedure. 5,000 feet. And straight out flying 053. A right turn to follow 21 mile DME arc and hold at Rob. Fair enough. So that's all pretty straightforward, that, isn't it? I think we know what we're doing. It's not a long taxi in either if we get off at the first taxiway, so what we can look to do is remind me, or somebody else, as my PMs, start the timer once we've touched down. Once I've got 3 minutes, then we shut that aircraft down. Do we leave flaps to flaps 1? If we're in an older aircraft, then yeah. We are about 20 miles in trail of another aircraft, so spacing's looking good. There we are, can see Sardinia now. Nick, why are you gifting the Legend Dark Fury 50,000 points? What? Have I missed something? Hey Chris, how's it going? Is it hot in Europe? We're going to be landing where we're landing today in Sardinia in about 20-25 minutes. It's 40 degrees at the moment. Oh yes, Nick, I forgot about that. His account was blocked, wasn't it? For some reason, and he lost everything, so that's fair. I will permit that. Comes with the caveat though, Dark, that you're only allowed to use your points for good and not for evil. Christian, it is a very short METAR. Short METARs are usually good. One, it's less to read, and two, it means the weather's not rubbish. Spencer TV, how often do you earn points when watching the stream? I think it's every 15 minutes, and the way to earn them is just to chat, be watching, and of course, if you donate or anything to support the channel in that respect, you also get points for that. Right, so let's start heading down to side low descent, 90 blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, you will be delighted to hear that we will shortly be starting our descent into our destination, at which point the cabin crew will start preparing for our arrival. If you could please make sure that all the aisles are clear and the cabin crew are able to make their way around the aircraft without any luggage in the aisles, that would be most appreciated. A reminder for our Easyjet pilot members that free drinks are still available from the cabin crew until the seatbelt signs are turned on. Please note, however, that the toilets will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
Okay, so now on the way down, and we should be on the ground in about half an hour according to the box. It's like cabin temperature, like 21, 20. Should I be kind and start increasing it so it's less of a shock when they get off? I mean, 21 just sounds beautiful. I really need to cut the grass in our garden, but it keeps raining. Hey, well, Lemons. Hope you're doing well. Loving all the constraints on this arrival, so leaving it in manage mode, it would obviously respect them. What we got? 230, 230, yeah, so if we're basically green dot by 467, that would work. Let's wind that speed up and get down. We're only 500 feet above the profile, but if I can get underneath it, it means I've got a better chance of shortening our arrival route. J-Hog, no, I don't want a petrol lawnmower. One I've got's fine. Petrol or electric? I still need the grass to be dry. Aviator, when the A320 comes out, will we do a long haul? I'm sure we shall. I don't think I've seen a single cloud on today's stream.
Ladies and gentlemen, take advantage today of some fantastic savings and offers from our in-flight magazine. These can be found in the back pocket of the seat in front of you. These shopping ideas and gifts offer you tax-free savings, with many items not available anywhere else and exclusive to you during your flight today. Our cabin crew will be around shortly to also offer you the chance to purchase airline lottery tickets. There is a chance to win some fantastic prizes, including cash and holidays. We no longer accept cash for payments. Thank you for your support of this channel. Signore e signori, approfittate oggi di fantastici sconti e offerte dalla nostra rivista di bordo. Questo può essere trovato nella tasca posteriore del sedile di fronte a te. Queste idee per lo shopping dei regali ti offrono risparmi esentasse, con molti articoli non disponibili da nessun'altra parte ed esclusivi per te durante il volo di oggi. Il nostro equipaggio di cabina sarà in giro a breve per offrirti anche la possibilità di acquistare i biglietti della lotteria aerea. C'è la possibilità di vincere alcuni fantastici premi, tra cui denaro e vacanze. Non accettiamo più contanti per i pagamenti. Grazie per il tuo supporto a questo canale. Thank you. Enjoy your food.
Just trying to look for our airport. Can't see it. It's down there somewhere. Nice clear day, so yeah, that terrain's not going to concern us. In which case, actually, I'm quite happy to go down 6,000. Transition altitude is also 6,000, so let's push for local pressure. So 6,000 blue. Nick Burrows has redeemed the select destination, so we've already got a destination flight, a long-haul flight from Dark Fury, still in the works. So, Nick, you're going to have to let us know, where do you want to go? Right, seatbelt signs coming on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fasten seatbelt sign has been turned on. Please ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened and returned to your seat immediately if you are not already seated. Infant seatbelts are provided for our passengers traveling with small children. Eventually, we now go out of the room if the fasten seatbelt sign is turned off. While seated, please find the airline magazine in the front pocket, providing you with lots of information about the channel and the perks of becoming a channel member. Please ask a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you. Signore e signori, il segnale di allacciare le cinture di sicurezza è
So, pull speed back now, 250 knots. We're in open descent, so that should just level us off a bit around 10,000 feet. No, Lex, anywhere British Airways don't operate. Nick, it's your choice, mate. Where do you want to fly to? Please not Vega. Please not Vega. Okay, approach checklist. So, Barrier QNH 1012. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums 330. Auto brakes low and EFB stowed.
canale sui vantaggi di diventare un membro del canale. Chiedi a un membro dell'equipaggio di cabina se hai bisogno di assistenza. Grazie.
Olbia traffic up by 93 Golf Zulu is now 3 miles inbound Nutu on the ATNET 2 Romeo arrival for ILS runway 05, speed 250. Okay, so activate the approach phase, get the landing system on.
Olbia traffic, Ocean 777, turning final now, 5 miles from Siena.
And there we go, that is our airport. Great view.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you may have noticed
Okay, let's manage the speed.
final descent into our destination. If you could now assist the cabin crew by tidying up your tray table and handing them any litter as they come around, that would be most appreciated. For safety reasons, we ask now that you please turn off all electronic devices or switch them to airplane mode until after we have landed. Please note that the aircraft toilets are now out of use. If you wish to become a Easyjet Sim Pilot channel member, please contact a member of your cabin crew who will be happy to assist you. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed your flight.
Okay, so there we can see Christian doing the direct to Senal, which is fine. We've got one aircraft ahead of us, so we obviously can't cut in front until that aircraft has. So we'll let him do his, make his turn, and then we'll sort ourselves out. But we've just reduced speed now. We're green dot. That puts a bit of space between us as well. Captain KV, is the 350 and 380 McDo boxes identical or similar? I'm not actually sure, to be honest. I know very, very little about those flight decks. So it's going to be interesting when they come out to fly them. Okay, so obviously don't need to rush around with the descent, so we'll just set VS of 700. So we have got an aircraft on fire, on downwind here.
Olbia traffic, Ocean 777, established ILS 05, 11 miles.
So that aircraft, Christian, is established. He's over there somewhere. I don't know if we can see him or not. Don't think we can. It's too bright. So, because we've got an aircraft in front that's flying the full procedure, we too are going to have to fly that full procedure, otherwise we're going to cut in front, which won't work. Well, it'd work for us, but not for the guy flying the full procedure. So 500 feet per minute, and we can see the level off arrow just moving a bit further forward to that. We've still got to reduce 180 knots, so that's going to be fine. Although, to be honest...
And Olbia traffic also, Ocean 777 reporting around 50 knots tailwind on final, so advise at least flat 3.
50 knot tailwind. Thanks for that, Alpine 93 Golf Zulu. We're now diverting. A 50 knot tailwind, that's ridiculous. That can't be right.
That's in the air, not on final, not on the ground.
Although looking at the direction, you can see we've actually got a headwind at the minute, so I guess it would make sense. What it does mean, though, is because of that, we're going to get the flaps out a little bit earlier. Otherwise, we're going to struggle to slow down. Hey, HD's in the house. What are you in the garden, HD? How you doing, mate? Good to see you. "6,000 feet up and it's 30 degrees.
Ocean 777 reporting wind direction change at 1,000 feet.
So some of the wind could be interesting coming in. A 50 knot tailwind in the air, and then a wind direction change at about 1,000 feet. Fun, fun. HD, you want to know exactly what extra procedures we've done? Very little, to be fair. PCA on the ground in Naples, where it was warm, and then one of the other things you could do really is, you can't do it in the sim, but close the blinds, stop the sun shining in. We did get both packs on as well as we were taxiing out instead of just the one. If we were in the Neo, we could have started engine 2 first with the crossbreed shut, so that the supply is not interrupted, but we're not in the Neo, so that's superfluous. Right, how far out are we? About 25 miles. Would we have accepted the jet if there was no APU? No. Kind of sadist would do that. We're flying the full approach here as well because there was an aircraft in front of us, so we couldn't cut that short. Willie, was the APU in up? No. No. That was all in good working order. God, this is bumpy. Right, so alt glide slope, lock blue, cat 3, dual, autopilot 1 and 2, flaps 1, speeds checked. I'm just going to hold off flaps 1 for a moment actually. We're still 25 miles away. Right, so we have got a decent tailwind, so I don't want to delay the configuration of the aircraft too long, otherwise I'm going to struggle once we start intercepting that glide slope and going down. Don't go down and slow down. Right, so we're established, lock green. Olbia traffic Alpine 93 Golf Zulu is established runway 05 at 2020 miles. This is bumpy. .36°. Right, so with a 22 knot tailwind, let's get flaps 2 out before we start going down the glide. That'll be at about 5 miles or so. So flaps 1, speed's checked. Flaps 1, that's full speed. Here comes the glide slope. And remember, we did the landing distance calculation as well. On a normal day, flaps 3 would have been alright with, according to the EFB, and the performance calculator, it would have been alright, but we'd needed medium brakes, even some max brakes, which I've decided not to do on a hot day like this. Flaps 2. Speed's checked, flaps 2. Glide slope star, missed approach altitude is... Ooh, aircraft's going all over the place. 5,000 feet, set. Yeah, so this is why we needed a flap 2 out before going down the glide slope. You can see it's struggling almost to hold 180. A HD flap 2 did... Oh, not for landing. Not for landing. 10 miles. No, we're doing flap full today. We did consider flaps 3, but we were going to need medium auto brakes for some reason, according to the EFB, to stop in time, which on a hot day I thought we don't want to risk that with those brakes. Oh goodness me, look at this, up and down. Right, let's get the gear down. Oh my word. This is indeed very turbulent.
Olbia traffic
Good lord. Watch for the wind spinning around and becoming a headwind though. Right, let's manage that speed. Flaps 3. It's close. Flaps 3. Flaps full. Landing checklist. Count secure, going altitude 5,000 feet. Remember landing in no blue. I have got a replay of this queued up as well, so that'll be quite interesting from a passenger's perspective. Wind's coming round from the north now. What about disconnected? I have control. Might have to fight this a little bit.
500.
Stable. Come on, get down.
100 above. Minimum.
Continue.
Light slope. Light slope.
40, 30, 20. Retard.
Touchdown. Finally. Okay, spoilers for screen. Decel. Oh, she didn't want to get down, did she?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at our destination. Please remain seated until the aircraft arrives at the gate. You are reminded to keep all electronic devices switched off until you have entered the airport terminal. If you enjoyed your flight, you can now join the channel as a member and receive extra benefits.
Olbia traffic runway 05 vacated.
Thank you for flying with Easyjet. Signore e signori, siamo ormai arrivati a destinazione. Si prega di rimanere seduti fino all'arrivo dell'aereo al gate. Si ricorda di tenere spenti tutti i dispositivi elettronici fino all'ingresso nel terminal dell'aeroporto. Se ti è piaciuto il tuo volo, ora puoi unirti al canale come membro e ricevere vantaggi extra per rendere più piacevoli i tuoi voli futuri con noi. Grazie per aver volato con Easyjet.
Right, let's tidy the aircraft up. Now, good timing that HD's come here. Obviously, it's very, very hot. So, yay or nay to leaving flaps 1? Let's just check the breaker temperatures. 135. Was that 125? That's nothing. HD also makes an interesting point about ignoring the glide slope and the focusing on the pappies. This is something I've been looking at, and I'm going to bring a video out on it shortly. Right, let's find somewhere to park, shall we? Are all these aircraft real? There's a lot of people here if there is. Right, I'm going to find somewhere to park and then I'm going to check out the replay, see what that looks like. So I'm not going to be too concerned about everything. So yeah, at the moment I've still got flaps 1 out. Now that is another thing which was recommended at a point, because when it was really hot you got some spurious false wing leak warnings. Not sure if that is still the case. We'll go on the self-manoeuvring stand. Go. HD, funny thing though, you think SML no-go item, so you could argue it's too late if you get that come up. Whoops. Maybe that's why they mitigate it by leaving flaps 1 out to begin with. Alright, so, there we are. Job done. That was an interesting approach and very turbulent, which, you know, kind of adds a little bit to the fun, I guess, doesn't it? I'm going to leave the engines running. I'm going to leave everything sort of on and not shut anything down, because we're going to come off VATSIM now, and I'm going to check the check out the landing from a from the passenger perspective. So let's have a look. I just need to get rid of self-loading cargo as well before those passengers scream at us. And let's bring up this. Let's bring up this approach. Now, if you haven't updated SkyDolly recently, I hadn't. I have now, about a week or so ago, and it now remembers your configurations for the flaps and the landing gear and things as well in the Fenix aircraft, which I think is great. Makes things a lot more realistic. HD quiz time. So Olbia used to have a NOTAM with the approach lighting system in up. Does it affect you at all? I'm going to go with Christian. In this weather, in the daytime, probably not. At night time, the other runway, runway 23, that's coming in pretty much over the sea, isn't it? So that could perhaps be a little bit more interesting. Aviator, no rotation flight today, I'm afraid. I've got a school run to participate in. Not just for my kids either today. Look at that lift that the aircraft was getting there. See that? We seem to have gone up. So let's say wind was 230 at 20. Oh yeah, nicely done. Just out the tailwind limits. Where's my charts? Hang on. I'll let you guys just look at that whilst I have a quick look. If the ASL is out, you need a visibility of 1500 meters. Whoops. Sorry, 1700. 1500 for A and D, isn't it? Yeah, 1700 meters. That's not going to work. Sebastian, do the kids attend school in July? Their last day is tomorrow. So who knows what's going to happen with my screaming schedule after tomorrow. Not that I have much of a schedule anyway. Well, this was anything but a smooth approach. There was nothing wrong with it from, I suppose, sort of legality point of view, but it was waving all over the place, wasn't it? And then just watch how late we sort of floated for. As we crossed over the runway threshold. There. It's going down, but it's just holding itself. Took a moment. Ah, yeah, it just took a moment to touch down, didn't it? Looked good though. Just gonna have a quick look at this side. So we approach obviously from the from the south today. Approaching from the north is a little more interesting, particularly if you've got bad weather, because you've got quite a bit more terrain underneath you as you're going down. Yeah, there's a little flow. Look at I think the aircraft almost came back up. Had to really just hold that for it to just settle down onto the runway. What we will do is, I'm quite happy just to have a look at this from an outside perspective, because don't do this too often, but I have just got a couple of minutes before we need to leave, so if I just get rid of that and I'll then just rewind the replay and check that out. So I do think it looks pretty decent in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I just need to disconnect the drone. See how that looks like as we come in. Aviator, yeah, if it would have floated a bit more, it would have been a go around. You're quite right. Which is why I was sat there inside my head just swearing that I needed it to hurry up. Just needed it to drop down. So there it is. Well guys, thank you so much for being with us today. As I say, it was the first live stream we've done in a while today, so was really glad to get you guys on board. Thank you so much for that. I hope you've had a good afternoon. I'm not sure when the next stream will be. As I say, the schools break up tomorrow, which means that all hell lets loose in our house. Nursery is over. Nursery is over. The boys here all the time. He's out of school, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we will be streaming as much as we can because it's always great fun seeing you guys and enjoying your company. So I'm going to leave you with a final replay to play us out with, guys. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you all on our next flight. Huge shout out as always to our Easyjet Sim Pilot channel members and those of you that help support the channel, and of course to our Legend HD. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
40, 30, 20,
Too low,
retard.
terrain.